The Garland Culinary Competition is important to me because now we are able to showcase what we do day to day in our Nagan kitchen using locally sourced, foraged, and grown foods. We're able to showcase our dishes to esteemed judges like the ones we had here today, and now we're able to showcase and put the word out about Aboriginal food to an audience. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making a chicken mousse. So I've gone out and I've harvested just a little bit of lemon thyme inside the mousse as well. I'm going to be putting a little bit of parsley, brunoise, shallot, and this is going to go into my risotto as well. So I've got my chicken here, my Ontario chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the food processor and I'm going to blend it up and add a bit of cream, some salt, pepper, my shallots, my parsley, and my lemon thyme just to make a nice farce. And then there's my mousse with the chicken breast that I've made. So I'm just going to start heating my pan here because next I'm going to brunoise some beets and then I'm going to roast some beets to go into my risotto as well. But it's important for me when I'm making this dish just that my knife cuts real nice. So now that my beets in the pan have started to sweat a little bit, I'm going to add just a little bit of barley. I'm going to add some barley to this. I wanted to have the same sort of texture as a risotto. So all I'm doing is I'm just roasting it in the pan with just a bit of the oil. I want to get some nice color on here. Once I've gotten a bit of color, I'm going to finish it in the oven. Now that this has been sweated down, I've added my wine. I'm going to reduce it by half just to get rid of some of that alcohol flavor. And then I'm going to start adding some chicken stock to it. So I'm just going to sweat down a bit of kale. So I just have my shallot, my kale in here. I'm going to add some chicken stock to this as well. Let that reduce down and cook the kale. Tofu ready. So I want to have a bit of a crispy texture to this dish as well. Now to the kale sauce, I'm going to add just a little bit of heavy cream to it. And I want that to reduce down just a little bit. So in the blender, what I'm going to add is I'm going to add half a bunch of tarragon, just so that it has a bit of a nice tarragon flavor that'll go nice with the risotto, go nice with the chicken. Once this is at the right texture, I'm going to puree my kale sauce into the tarragon. So this has been brought up to a boil. All I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to the blender here. And then this is my kale and tarragon sauce with chicken stock, a touch of Canadian dairy. The next thing I'm going to work on is my batter for my chicken. So I have just a bit of spelt flour here that I'm adding to a bowl. I've got a bit of ground wild rice. I don't want this to be like fish and chips, so it's going to be a lot lighter. That looks like a good texture for me. I have my chicken mousse here. Just going to portion out a nice portion. And then I'm going to get ready to fry my chicken farce in my batter. I'm going to add some butter off the heat. I still want it to have that risotto-like flavor and texture. And then this is where I'm going to use the beetroot yogurt. Just off the heat, I'm just going to hold this in. I just want to finish cooking the beets through with just a little bit of our chicken stock. And then I'm going to puree it and add just a bit of the puree into the risotto before I plate. Okay, so my jus almost there. I'm going to start plating my dish. So here we have our risotto. I want it to be almost like a landscape when people come. So then the next thing I'm going to add is just my little chicken farce that I have that I fried off. And then I'm going to scatter a bit of the tofu around just to add a bit more texture to the dish. And then I'm going to use a bit of the watercress that we went out and foraged. This has a bit of a peppery flavor similar to arugula. Now I'm just going to put a bit of this kale and tarragon sort of light sauce all over the plate. So then the last thing I'm going to add is just a bit of our reduced stock that we have here with the vinegar and a bit of the honey that we get sourced locally here. The dish I have completed today is a beet and barley risotto with MC dairy yogurt. There's a sauce made from kale and tarragon, a bit of crispy tofu, wild foraged watercress, an Ontario chicken mousse, and then a bit of pickled beetroot stems and a jus that has a bit of apple cider vinegar and honey added to it. It is important to me now that not only we be able to educate our cooking staff on the importance of purchasing local sustainable produce and products, where we're now able to educate diners that come into our dining room to try our dining experience that we offer. We encourage not only future cooks of our industry, but guests as well to look up, visit, support the purveyors who work so hard to produce the ingredients we use every day, not only in our home kitchens, but in a professional kitchen setting as well.